Hello, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day, as you can see from my Google Doodle and my green hat. In this tutorial, I want to go over how to find your school's TWC data, your teacher working condition survey data, download that to Excel, and create a bar chart, kind of like we did in class. So I'm going to Google here, NC Teacher Working Condition Survey 2020. I will click on the new vendor, which is ASQNC, and you can see the full page of results for the entire state. Over here, I want to search a school. This is where you can type in your school. I'm going to type in my children's school, Holly Ridge Elementary School. We can see down here that 62 were invited. They all replied for 100% response rate. And then we have two different reports. You have these stacked bar charts on the left, which you can just copy and paste. If those are what you want to use in a presentation, you can grab them. But we also have these tables. I'm going to click on that one to show you what comes up. This is like the data we were working with, where we have a comparison between the school, the district, and the state on the percent that agreed or strongly agreed with these indicators. So I'm going to export that to Excel so that I can create my own bar charts from it. All right, as I open this up, you'll notice that each one of those indicators, starting with time, gets its own worksheet. So I just have time on this first worksheet, facilities and resources is on the second, and so on. Okay, so my example is just going to come from time. And what Excel is telling me here with these little green flags is that these numbers are stored as text, but we want to convert them to numbers so that we can use them in our graphics. So that's the first thing I did, was I converted those to a number by highlighting them and clicking convert to number. Having done that, I'm going to delete that because I know that this is percent agree or strongly agree. And now I can select my data. I'm going to include these column labels because I want them as part of the legend. And then I have each of my indicators and the percent that agree. Having done that, I can now go ahead and click my insert recommended charts. And I'll click this first one, a horizontal bar chart. I like the horizontal layout because these text labels are pretty long. And so it's nice to have them on a nice horizontal spread. And you can see that Excel has given me a default bar chart with each of these indicators. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to name my chart. I want to label things. So I'm going to call this TWC time. And I may want to change the color scheme. Maybe this default Excel color scheme is not my favorite. So I can just, in clicking on the graph, choose change colors, and I'll select this second one, kind of this blue and green combo. Maybe I like that, but you can play around with those colors. I notice here that my x-axis is 1 not labeled, so I'll need to label it. And 2, it's to the hundredths place, and I really don't need that. It's just a percentage. So when I click on it, you get these axis options that pop up. This is how more appearance, but if you click on this third one, you get more detail around how the numbers are displayed. And so I'm going to click on number, and you can see it's stored as a percentage with 2 decimal places, but I'd like it to be 0. So I'm going to hit enter there, and you see that comes down. The other way to approach this would have been to change it in the spreadsheet, and then it could have been linked to the source and it would update there as well. My legend looks good, but now I need to add an x-axis title. So to do that, I add a chart element up here on my ribbon, and I'm going to add a primary horizontal axis title. Once that comes up with the default label, I change it to agree and strongly agree. And that's a percentage, so I'll put that in parentheses. But you can label it however you'd like to, just to make it clear. Maybe what I'd like to do is order these. Maybe I'm really interested in the strongest percent agreement to the smallest. Okay, to do that within the chart, I actually work up here in the spreadsheet. So I'm going to click on that same set of values that I did to create the chart, but this time I'm going to go to the data ribbon and select sort. I will sort by the column school, and I'm going to sort the smallest to the largest. Notice when I sort from small to large in the spreadsheet, we get a mirroring effect in the bar chart where we now get the largest to the smallest ordered down here in the bar chart. So teachers are allowed to focus on educating students with minimal interruptions is the largest, highest percent agreement, all the way down to the smallest, which is about class sizes. Okay. So let's say I'm pretty happy with this. Maybe I don't necessarily need these markers that are kind of these vertical markers. So I delete them. I just clicked on them and deleted them. But maybe I'd like to add a label to my bars. And in particular, I'm really interested just in labeling this school set of data. So I know the percentages. Okay. So to do that, I just click on it. I right click and I just say add data labels. And those come up. Now these labels I can click on, these are to the hundredths place. Maybe I don't want them to go so far. If I click on them, I can click that same bar chart over here, click on number. It's general, but I'd like it to be a percentage. That percentage is tied to decimal places and I want it to be 0. And now we have our data labels that have been changed, okay? So that's looking pretty good. I have my data labels. I can see where my school's at. But let's say I'm not interested in the state comparison. I really just want school compared to district. So to do that, I'll click on my graphic again. I'll go to the chart design ribbon. And over here, I'm going to click this select data button. With select data, I'm going to select the legend entries. I don't want the state. And so I click on state here and I'm going to hit this negative, which is like delete. I'm not interested in that. Notice when I do that and click OK, this graphic now has excluded the state and it's updated the chart. All right. So that looks pretty good to me. You may want to play around with some of the formatting, but that gives you some options. You can always do these quick layouts if you want to get fancy. There's lots of different charts they recommend. Don't go 3D. Remember, keep things 2D. Just makes your life easier, makes it easier on the reader. But you could play around with formatting, but that's the general process you could replicate across each one of these.